My dudes, it's Saucy D, and I know it's been a while since I made a video, but now that Silver Surfer is out, and now that he's only obtainable through Giant Boss Raid, I wanted to make a video on character buffs that'll definitely help you get that content cleared. I joined the forum recently on Facebook, and there's been a lot of questions, a lot of people asking for tips on how to clear these. These characters will definitely help you a lot. I'll start with the free to play and then go over to the premium characters. But if you like this video, hit subscribe, comment on what you want to see, and I'll be making more videos now that I'm a little bit less busy, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now with Shuri, Coulson, and White Fox, these characters are not only free to play. I mean, White Fox is a little bit harder to get as a free to play player, but these characters are free to play and they have some fantastic tier 2 passives. So if you can invest in tier 2ing them, they'll definitely help you out a lot with endgame content. Let's start with Coulson. Now, real quick, just take a look at their passives. So when you go to skills, hit passive for his tier 2 passive. Sometimes even their 4-star passives help out a lot too. But the tier 2 passive, let's take a look here. So it applies to all hero allies, decreases damage received from supervillains by 15%, increases damage dealt to supervillains by 45%, and an increased guaranteed critical rate by 20%. That is super useful either in World Boss or GBR when you are going to be going against bosses that are a little bit not only harder, but when you have like a smaller roster or when you don't have any tier 3s to help you out. This will definitely help out a lot when it comes to dealing damage and surviving. Shuri is also one of my favorites. I know I don't have her uniform. She seems kind of neglected, so I apologize for that. But let's take a look at her her passive. So applies to all allies, decreases damage received from supervillain type characters by 25%, and increases damage dealt to supervillain characters by 35%. Now, regardless of whether or not I've leveled them up a lot, I definitely tier 2'd them. I will get to building them even stronger later on, but they are very useful just having them on my team. White Fox is one I've been sleeping on. I just tier 2'd her 2 days ago, but check out her passive. So applies to all allies with leadership, increases damage dealt to supervillain type characters by 60%. So awesome, super useful. Like I said, these characters are free to play. White Fox is obtainable by heroic quests, so although you do have to spend crystals, technically you can just save up crystals or just keep checking in every day or logging in every day. You'll get about 1,200 crystals when the 8 weeks are done, so you don't have to worry about spending any real money. Some other characters that are super useful, well, Wasp is not premium. Let's go ahead and start with Wasp, but Ghost Panther and Nick Fury are premium but are super useful if you can invest in them. Let's start with Wasp. So not only does Wasp have a great leadership, it increases all attacks by 23%, all defenses by 18%, and all speeds by 6%. Her tier 2 passive is where it's at. So applies to all allies, removes all debuffs for 20 seconds, and the cooldown time is 25 seconds. So this is super useful in World Boss. I haven't really seen much of a difference. I mean, I might be tripping, really. I haven't really looked, but in Giant Boss Raid, I haven't used her much. But you'll see her a lot in Timeline Battle. Although I haven't leveled up her skills, it doesn't mean that I think of her any less. Her leadership and her passive is really one to invest in. Nick Fury I use all the time, even though I hate his uniform. Nick Fury is killing it, not only with just a leadership, applies to all hero allies, increase of all attacks by 50%, but his passive is super nice too. So super armor defenses 30%, and then increases damage dealt to supervillain characters by 50%. Very helpful in World Boss, very helpful in Giant Boss Raid. And Ghost Panther also, his tier 2 passive applies to all allies. So this is really good if you have Jean Grey, Human Torch leveled up. Not only does it increase damage by 50% for fire damage, but decreases damage received from supervillain characters by 15%, increases damage dealt to supervillain characters by 45%. Now, like I said, Nick Fury and Ghost Panther are premium characters. You can get them in premium character chests, or you can just buy a subscription, unlock them, and then use tickets when you obtain them along the way. But seriously, if you guys are, playing the game more than, the other player, you definitely want to invest in these guys so you can get some content cleared. Now, these aren't all of the support characters that we have in mind, but I do want to keep the video short. Some honorable mentions definitely goes out to Colossus. His 4-star passive, let's just go ahead and go right to the decreases damage received from supervillain characters by 50%. Very useful. Some people also told me She-Hulk. Some people also told me Ebony Maw. Take some time, go to your characters, look at their passives, look at their 4-star passive, and look at their leaderships. Sometimes just throwing them on your team will go a long way. One of the newest characters that I'll be ranking up once I complete the heroic quest will definitely be Wave, since her passive is very nice also. Decreases damage received from supervillain characters by 15% and increases damage dealt to supervillain characters by 40%. And like I said, I'm going to keep this video short, but if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask me. And also throw out some characters that I missed. Like I said, I know I missed a few of them. I just wanted to give you some of my favorites, but throw out some characters I missed, some that help you clear this content. Like I said, if you like this video, subscribe, comment on what you want to see. But other than that, thanks for checking it out, guys.